isn't that something?
That sounds pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty. It is gorgeous.
What's it draw for amp, Paul?
53, wide open. But
Wide open.
Very seldom. Right now it's drawn about 28 or 30.
27,
Yeah.
28 we figured by checking the throttle position.
Just flying today. Yeah, that's you keep her 30 or under. That's
Puts
very
out
fine.
11 on a 1610. It puts out 1100 watts.
That's
Pretty
electric.
good match.
That's electric at its peak right there. Beautiful.
Plenty of power.
Suits the airplane.
Flies the airplane right.
Yeah.
Nothing gets stressed. Batteries are good for 64 amps. He's pulling 53 wide open. He's got a 70 amp controller. It's good forever.
Now, how many of the big packs are you running in? The 2 and series?
So
you're up at
6S, that's it. 6S
22.2 volts?
Yeah, 22.2 volts, yeah.
About 25 when they're popping.
Yeah.
We're still limiting flights to about 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
We're not pushing them.
They're saying that they're finding out that the live polys, when they start warming up, the power gets better and better and better now.
I'll tell you what,
Because the amps flow better.
them 3200s. I'm so impressed with their performance. Probably had one and we screwed around with it. I said, holy shit, I gotta get some of these and put them in my feeding pole. Same thing on a 12-man series.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, he's got a, that big glider's got a pair of them in the series, and we were just blown away to take off.
Well, he's running in a big glider now too. He switched to he was running packs parallel. The rollage drop on 3200s is so goddamn good, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, you can see the lightness of the airplane. Better too. I mean, it's just wide.
Almost right down the runway, Paul.
Scale wing.
Turned it by a motor. Right engine, right speed.
Bill coming out.
lovely. Thought my mom would want to say anything. Spencer, did you see Nick fly today? Pretty good?
Did an excellent job.
Didn't he?
Electric's come a long way.
Attention RC pilots, two messages please. First of all, about 1:30 we want to land so we can have our word presentation. Secondly, we are looking for channel 42. For channel 42.
That's great. That's impressive, isn't it? have to hear this band. Want to land next, man? I think I'm going to land. Landing!
Nice.
All right.
Actually somewhere along the line, an uncle or something, I think. Yeah. Yes. K Morse. S.T.A.R.R. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Craft on the ground in about 5 minutes, please. We need to use the runway for the award presentation.
It's loading up on them on the low end.
That's not surprising.
Well, I think he's got to tweak the low idle jet a little bit, get it leaned up a little bit more.
I'll tell you a little story here in just a minute about what I heard about him.
Good, because I got one too. Tell me.
They're only good if they stay running.
If it does fall, he's busy bent over picking it up. Get that shot. Do you have the auto mode that just takes it one after the other?
Could I have everybody's attention, please? This afternoon we're going to be giving an award here. I would like to ask all the honorary S.T.A.R.S members to step up here, please. And all the S.T.A.R.S officers. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Vice President of the AMA for District 2. Not that he needs introducing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Mr. Dave Matheson. Thanks, Dad. Down here had a clap. That was one of the conditions of him coming up here this week.
You saw me. I clapped for him, didn't I?
Before we start, I asked Darren and Gary if you already put a shameless plug in for the District 2 flying.
Jim, back up there, will you?
Flying this year is going to be held on September 17th and 18th up in Lake Clear, New York at the Adirondack Regional Airport. It's a weekend of open flying, no registration fees, no landing fees. There'll be a short District 2 meeting Saturday afternoon and a district picnic dinner Saturday evening. Flying up until whenever you get tired of it Saturday night.
There's camping available, no hookups. There'll be a place to charge and a place to leave your models in one of the hangars overnight. It's a great place to be in the middle of September. It's the North Country of New York. And, we're hoping for some good weather this year because we've kind of been washed out for the last two. So if anybody's up in the area, consider coming on out for the day. You know, there's things that happen in this hobby, events that take place that have historical significance. And then there's some events that not only have historical significance, but also have a dramatic impact on the direction that this hobby goes. I guess an example might be maybe when Bill and Walt Good decided that they wanted to try to fly their model airplane guided by using radio signals from the ground. And then, of course, maybe it was when Bob Boucher decided that he wanted to see if he could fly a model airplane by powering it with an electric motor. Of course, those two events certainly had a significant impact on the direction of the model. Today, you look around, and out of AMA's 2,500 charter clubs, over 90% of them are involved in radio control discipline. And of course, over the last few years, the advancements in technology and electrics have certainly put it on a level playing field with internal combustion power. As a matter of fact, just this weekend, the Precision Aerobatics World Championships are just ending in France, and a significant number of the competitors have been flying electric models this year. I understand, I don't think this is not official, but the semi-official rankings are the United States ended up in second place, and I believe 2 out of our 3 members were flying electric models. So I think that certainly you can see how certain things happen in this hobby that decades later play a significant part in where we are today. We're here today to recognize and acknowledge the Southern Tier Aero Radio Society and some of their members who also played a part in history. And that's the birth and development of the giant scale movement. And I'm going to ask now that the guys that were involved in that movement come on up when I call their name. And Jim Messer. And his brother Bill Messer. Bob Dunn. Lou Elshner. Privateer and Penny Couple, certainly modeling icons in this part of the country. And last but not least, Bob Brown, the AMA's District 3 Vice President, was also a part of this group. And Bob is leaving this afternoon for France for the 2005 Radio Control Pylon World Championship, so he couldn't be here today. I also want to take a second and introduce the members of the current S.T.A.R.S officers. Don Whaley, current president. Randy Pittenger, vice president. Tom Orchid, treasurer. Secretary. This time I'd like to introduce AMA's executive director, Don Coranda. Don's come here today from Muncie to participate in this presentation because AMA thinks it's extremely important that we recognize our clubs who go to these efforts and create these historical events that have meant so much to not only AMA but to modeling in general. Thank you, Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, really a pleasure to be here on a beautiful day, watch some great flying. It was kind of exciting for me. I was thinking about flying my airplane out here, but I decided when the weather looked a little iffy that it would be a good idea to drive out here. And it happens for pilots, it's a beautiful day, so I'm going to drive anyway. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, it kind of reminds me of a time when I was, in my prior life, I was the president and CEO of the National Aeronautics Association, and I was invited to a balloon meet. And I went there, and of course, in a balloon meet, you have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning or 4. And they told me there was going to be a bus there and I'd have to assemble with all the crew. So I got on that bus and there were a bunch of people there and we all started doing introductions. And they said, hi, I'm Bill from so-and-so and I'm Mary from so-and-so. And it got to me and I said, hi, I'm Don Coranda and I'm the president of the National Aeronautics Association. And there was a slight pause and then there was this female voice that came over and said, yeah, and I'm Eleanor Roosevelt. Well, I really am important in our hobby. And the executive committee wanted, the council wanted to try to do something to highlight that. So they came up with what we're going to be calling our Heritage Award Series. This is actually going to be the third in the series. There have been two others that have been awarded, but the whole purpose behind it is to recognize people who have really done something outstanding, clubs, facilities, and designate these places as having a significant heritage towards model aviation. Well, we're here today to do exactly that. We have put together some plaques. The program, I think, is going to be a very successful program, and it's going to help us, I think, preserve some of our flying sites, because people need to know that there were important things that happened at these different locations. So we are very honored today to present this plaque. And I'm going to ask Dave Matheson to pull out the first plaque here so that we can make this presentation. And I have Don, we step forward here so that we can make this, I got to get rid of all these I used to do this in another life, and I'm not used to doing it anymore. We have a bronze plaque here. It's heavy enough to be one person to hold on to it. But this is a plaque that is going to be a standard plaque at all the sites, so that when you go there, you can see that this has been a National Air Modeling Historic Landmark recognized and dedicated by the Academy of Models and Aeronautics. This is part one of this plaque. It's not even the heaviest one, but it's going to be a very significant one. Let me twist it down a little bit that way so you don't get any reflection off of that. But what we also have is then the words that go along. And I'm going to ask Dave Matheson to uncover this while I hold this, to show you that these two plaques will sit proudly here at this field. Okay? It says right here, let me read it to you. Flat Field, the Southern Tier Aero Radio Society S.T.A.R.S, operating from Flat Field in Orleans, New York, is acknowledged as being a leader in the development of giant-scale radio control aircraft beginning in 1975. The S.T.A.R.S relocated from Flat Field to Cuba, New York, when the society purchased this site in the late 1980s. Established in 1935, S.T.A.R.S is one of the oldest AMA clubs in the United States. This is dedicated on this day, August 28, 2005. This is a testament to all the people, all of you who have been involved in this, and all the club members who have kept this club going for so many years. Congratulations, it is an honor well deserved.
Amen.
Well, I'm not going to say too much, but I certainly want to say that on behalf of the S.T.A.R.S members, I am so proud and honored to receive this award. Thank you. Thank you very much. I also want to thank a few people here today. I want to thank, first of all, Ron and Dave for coming here and presenting this award to us. I want to thank Gary Fish, our Associate Vice President of the AMA, for all the hard work and dedication to our club. I want to thank certainly Charlie, Lou, Jim, Bob, and Bill. Without them, this club or the modeling sport would not be the same. These guys are pioneers, and what can you say? But thank you very much.
The story behind how this all took place is really a fascinating story. And I thought that it would be neat if we could hear from Jim Messer for just a second. Maybe he could give us some of the background and the obstacles that these guys had to overcome to not only design these models from scratch, but to build them and actually build them with parts that none were commercially available. Virtually every part on these models had to be handmade and hand designed. So I want Jim just to take a couple of minutes and maybe tell us about some of the stories that went along with this. Sure.
few minutes ago, they said, will you speak a few words? I had written a book, and I'm just going to read some from this book. This is how this all got started. I got to get the sun right. Okay. Every year on the weekend day, we would venture as a club to a 2-day meet at Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome near Kingston, New York, where in real life they flew all the old airplanes from World War I. Every weekend through the summer, they put on a fantastic air show with these planes. But on one weekend, they included World War I models, and different events were staged, and we competed for prizes. Since Rhinebeck was reasonably close to New York City and Long Island, there were always those from the big compete against. Some of them, like Dick Ceroli, for example, some of them, like Ceroli, for example, had earned the title King of the Hill, and no matter how hard or how well we might perform, it was always Nick and the other big name New York City guys that walked away with the top prizes. One year, 1975, Bob Dunn and I teamed up to fly the so-called combat event. I flew the Fokker D7, and Bob flew the Newport 17. We put on a great show. We thought for the first time that we'd taken the top spot. But guess what? When the prizes were awarded, we came in fifth. We returned home, mulled it over. I told Bob we would never get the judges' attention unless we did something spectacular, something they had never seen before. So we put our minds together, decided a really big airplane might do the trick. We had observed a small model of the Bristol Scout perform at Rhinebeck, and it seemed like the right choice for what we wanted to do. We would build this model at 1/4 scale with a giant 78-inch wingspan. We would not only build one model, we would build a squadron of them, 6 in all. Builders would be Ken Capo, Bill Messer, George Privateer, Lou Elcher, Jim Messer, and Bob Dunn. Bob and I designed the model. First of all, there were no engines available to power such a large airplane. Second, there were no wheels, no props, no nothing. And then making our own wheels, carving our own block of maple wood, and finding an engine large enough to fly the airplane. What a challenge. The airplane structure had to be kept as light as possible, so the new building techniques were tried for the very first time. In no time at all, the 6 of us were busy framing up wings, followed by tail surfaces and fuselages. That was the easy part. Within 1 year, 5 of the 6 models started were completed. Mine was the first one to fly, and we were elated to say the least. In 1976, we returned to Rhinebeck, and although I was the only one to fly, we received all the attention and all of the publicity. The magazines were full of photos of the scouts and kind words about the stars. Up until then, there were very few large models ever constructed, and this was certainly the very first squadron model planes ever shown anywhere. Now I'm going to over here. Now this is some words that Woody Clapp put together, and I'm going to read this because it is good. We have to call it a squadron approach to quarter scale. That's what the stars of Olean, New York have evolved as their modus operandi. Can you imagine not one but 5 78-inch Bristol Scouts being flown in mass? The sight is an aeronautical phenomenon, and a worthy reward in itself for the efforts of this small 24-member group of modelers. They started clicking about 2 years ago, long before quarter scale was even popular, when Jim Messer conceived the idea of scaling up a 1/6 scale Bristol Scout. Remember now, this was when power class for 3-to-1 models were embryonic, and when the structural engineering for such large airplanes was mostly a guesstimation affair. One thing was obvious. There was a definite need to pool the resources and talents of everyone in the club. Only a club that had been around since 1938, charter number 13, could pull it off. But the stars have always been stellar examples when it came to doing the impossible. On their own, these 24 men pitched in and built their own 2,000 grass strip. Naturally, their new flying field was just the right size for quarter-scale aircraft operations, so the aerodrome added further emphasis to their plans to build them big. Now the aerodrome is Clapp Field. While most models were constructed extensively in Boston. The creative engineers in the group set about finding ways to reduce the exorbitant expense.
Yeah, we're not done. Thanks, Jim. We really appreciate you taking the time to tell us that story. As part of the closing this afternoon, Gary Fish would like to say a few words. I have to take just a second to tell you, and I don't need to tell most of you guys this, but Gary's one of my AVPs. I've got 10 or 11 of them, and I can tell you that Gary ranks right up there amongst the best, and you guys are fortunate to have him down here in your area. Gary. He is.
Don't go away, David. To David Mathewson, the stars have voted, and we would like to present you with an honorary membership to STARS for all of your efforts and help.
Make them pay dues.
Well, that'll be a voluntary thing. We'll see if it happens. Hey, I just want to mention one thing. Scale Bristol's, by going to rallies and then starting our own rally, people came to our event, and that's how we raised money. And the money that we raised was designated for one purpose and one purpose only: the purchase of our own land so we could have our own field. We've accomplished that end. In the late 1980s, we purchased this field that Kip Karn, who owned the field at that point, was already developing. And we thank you, Kip, for that. STARS have accomplished in field ownership something that very few clubs throughout the United States have: permanence. And that's the one thing that I try to say to my clubs: if you have any thought about holding an event, raising money, do it with the intent of making your club grow. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. We do want to take some brief photos, and the way we want to do this is this. We'd like to get a picture of just the original STARS members with the Bristols, with Don Coranda and Dave Mathewson, and Don Wheelotti. And then we'd like to get a photo with all of the STARS members. And then we want to get a photo with every single RC pilot here. Okay? So let's begin. And then after we're done with the photos, we've got 3 Bristols that we want to taste.
There we go.
There you go. There's your new tripod.
Commentary and yeah, no, you need some over here. We gotta have short guys over on this side. So see if we can. Let's see. Let's bring it up. The first one.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill. Silver Cat. Come on over here for a second.
Cheese. Hold it. Hold that. Hold it.
Keep the pose, guys.
Let me do another picture. One more. Let me do another picture.
We got thousands.
We got it.
Squeeze in a little bit.
Hold on. Let me take the.
Wait a minute. One guy's not smiling.
He can't.
That's because he's kneeling. Follow him up.
No.
Nice job. Very nice.
Super. Nice presentation.
I'm telling you, it was great.